As people, we long for favor from others. We want compassion and kindness to be shown towards us, to be accepted as who we are, and not what the world wants us to be. In our very nature, there's a yearning for grace, but in this world, there's so little grace to be found. Where do we go to find it?
For me personally, the driving force behind wanting to be in camp was being a camper. I'm an amputee. When I was a child, I went to a camp for other amputees and kids in wheelchairs and deaf children and blind children, and you know, it was the first time in my life that I felt accepted. I didn't have to prove myself there. I didn't have to be something that I wasn't. From that time, I went back to be a counselor and eventually ended up as program director at that same camp.
Growing up, my best friend was deaf, and I saw the challenges that she faced, and challenges learning to speak gave me a burden for kiddos like herself. I came to know the Lord as a child when I attended camp with my cousin, and I saw the special place that it was in my life and how God used camp in my life. And when I married Rand, he said that someday he hoped that we would have a camp of our own.
Colleen and I, when we got married, it was just one of those things where she had a vision for working with special needs kids, and I had that same vision, and that's just something we shared. And at one point we said, you know, we should be able to do this, and we started a camp.
Charis Hills is an extraordinary place where children with autism, Asperger's, and ADHD are offered a chance to be among other children like themselves. It is a place where children are accepted and loved by the counselors and staff. Charis is a quiet place where children can see God's creation firsthand and marvel at it, where they can learn to trust God and know that He created them perfect for His marvelous plan.
Oftentimes, the campers that we serve have not been successful at home, maybe not successful in school at times, sometimes because of behavioral needs, behavioral issues. They don't even attend church. So we wanted to provide a place where kiddos could come and hear about Christ and receive that grace and acceptance that all of us need.
What's nice is that we know that when we get here, it's going to be organized, it's going to be efficient on the check-in, that's great. But more so, we know that the counselors that they have hired, if you will, are going to be the right people to work with Colton.
We do a minimum of 10 days and sometimes as much as 14 days of training with our counselors.
We go through a specific curriculum on who are these kids, what is Asperger's, what is autism, what is ADHD, how do you effectively communicate to each kid. We go through de-escalation training, so whenever a kid gets overstimulated, how to not talk down to them but talk them down, and just hang with them, let them know it's going to be okay.
We receive a lot of training. They go over a lot of different tools and ways that we can help deal with different encounters that we may have, and they do really do the best job that they can to prepare us for any situation that they have, and equipping us with tools to really help us be good counselors to the kids and make sure that the kids are happy and having a fun time here.
He told us I felt normal for the first time because all of the other kids have problems, and he was for the first time around everyone else that had a problem. And so he didn't have to fake his way through anything or try to act normal around other children or anything. He could just be who he was, and he loved that aspect of it.
Charis Hills is great in so many ways, obviously. We like the fact that it's faith-based and that they're open with their faith and, encourage that in the kids. The size of the camp is great because they give, great attention to each kid. It's not so large and overwhelming like some camps, but just for the way that the directors and the counselors, you can tell they generally care about the kids.
Drew has multiple disabilities, not only learning disabilities, but physical disabilities. Rand and Colleen have been a big part of helping him become the young man he is, that he is accepted. He has felt delighted in, he's felt cherished. In a world where everybody's supposed to be a round peg and he's sort of a little square peg, he's felt appreciated here, and it's made him have a heart that is tender and is kind and is open to the Lord.
True grace isn't found with a group of people at a camp, though grace may be shown through them. No, true grace is ultimately found in Christ. He is the place where we can find true forgiveness, acceptance, compassion, and love. Charis Hills is just a place where children are pointed to the source of grace.
They just want to give these kids someone who will listen to them and then share the gospel of Jesus right back to them. So it's a voice that's not heard, that needs to be heard.